Dear respected Thay, dear respected brother and sister in the community. Yesterday we only talked about the cappuccino, the coffee, Italian coffee. And if I have a chance to drink a cup of coffee, the cappuccino, I feel so much gratefulness for all of the wisdom that have entered into that cup of cappuccino. We receive so much blessing from our human family. Our family, our human family might make a few mistakes. We might cause difficulty to ourselves, and we might cause difficulty to other people, other living beings, especially. Sư cô nói cái gì? Sư cô nói ra cho tao biết, đâu hiểu gì đâu. Yeah, yeah. 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 So I feel very blessed by all of the wisdom of the work that that human family have created and passed on to us. When I drink a cup of tea, just like right now I just did, I feel so much gratefulness for the cup of tea that I have in my hands. And I look at this this wonderful screen, the filter where the tea is inside, and it takes so much work, so much wisdom, and there are so many people creating this filtering and picking up the leaf, the tea leaf, planting the tea, and all the water, and we have this cup of tea in our hand. I drink the tea for you. Just the simple act of drinking the tea can give us so much joy and happiness if we can open our heart to the totality of life that enter into this cup of tea. This cup of tea is not something that is isolated from the rest of life, from the rest of the whole universe. If we can touch the cup of tea in its fullness, in its wholeness, it is in its completeness, we experience something called instant enlightenment. That is instant enlightenment. Enlightenment is not something out of our reach. It is not something that we cannot reach. It is available every moment. That when we learn to open our heart to life and to receive everything that life given to us. The same thing with our spiritual life. Yesterday we talked about the 5 spiritual roots. And 5 spiritual powers. Beginning with faith, and we extend it with right energy or effort diligent, mm, effort, diligent, energy, mm, and then there is mindfulness, awareness, attentiveness. I use different word because it gives a different feeling and a different sense. It's very nice. And our vocabulary is very rich. Again, it's human creation. Uh, it's amazing. Uh, we have so many words describing things, and human experience is very rich. And we are very fortunate from our ancestor, all of the stream of our ancestor who have created all of this wonderful, um, wonderful language that we have inherited. And then from mindfulness, we learn to stabilize our practice. Stabilize our practice. So there comes stability, stability, solidity, firmness, collectedness, collectedness, or samadhi. That is samadhi. And then again, it come back to faith. And there's wisdom. After we have the stability, it become a part of our life. It's a way of life. That is way of life. It is a way of life. And this way of life is wisdom. Wisdom is a way of living. Wisdom manifests itself concretely in the way we live. You can look at the way a person lives, and you can see how much wisdom he or she has. The wisdom expresses itself in the way we live. And from this wisdom, you go back to faith. So this is the cycle. And this root, the spiritual root, is also the spiritual power. It is root because we have this potential. Some of us have a stronger potential. For example, some of us have a strong element of faith, but some of us might not have this strong element of faith. So perhaps the root is different. This potential is different. Different people have different potential and different strength. So the root here is the potential. In Vietnamese, we use the word căn. Căn is the root, is the possibility from which things come out. Things have arisen from that. That is căn. And from this root, when we cultivate it it becomes power. Mm. And the power, these five power, like the five uh, electric electricity house that nourish our spiritual life. When we practice with a little bit of faith, beginning with faith, and going through this process, slowly, we come and we have a different understanding about life. We have a perspective about life, a perspective about life. We all have a particular perspective about life. And when we practice, slowly, we will be able to change our perspective. We learn to shift our perspective. One of the perspective that is very important is the perspective about codependent arising. Codependent arising or codependent origination. And later on, our teacher, Thay, he created the word interbeing. Interbeing. This perspective is so important, and it helps to transform how we experience life and how we live our life. It is the Buddhist practice that we learn to transform our perspective so that we can embody this perspective about codependent arising, this perspective about interbeing, and it become a part of our life, a part of our living. Last year and this year, we continue to be affected by the coronavirus, from the pandemic. And many of us suffer deeply about it. And there are many friends who have passed away and who are sick, continue to be sick because of the coronavirus. So naturally, as human, we have the tendency to think that, well, it would be very good if there's no coronavirus. Or if there's coronavirus now, there could be some kind of medicine or some kind of technology so that the coronavirus will be disappear completely on Earth. That is our normal tendency as human. Sometimes we love our beloved very much, but sometimes we have so much difficulty with our beloved one, with our partner and our children, our parents. And there's a deep wish within us that I don't want to see my partner anymore. I don't want to see my beloved one anymore. It's very natural. It's a human tendency. When we have a problem, we want to run away. We want to escape from our problem. Mm. Mm. But the training, the Buddhist training is we have to learn to see that everything depends on each other. Things co-arising. Everything manifests together. Mm. Codependent arising, codependent origination. The Buddha said it in very simple way. This is because that is. Mm. I behave like this because my partner behaved like that. My partner behaved like that because I behave like this. Mm. We inter-are. Mm. And the most wise thing for us to do is we have to learn to live together. This and that have to learn to be together in harmony. The Chinese have this beautiful symbol of yin and yang. This is the yang side, which is white, and this is the yin side with the yin side with dark black, and inside the yang there's this little on this white part that represent the yang. Yang is the a kind of manifestation of life in which is expanded, bright, uh, uplifted. Mm. And so inside this yang, there's this little yin. Mm. And yin is the manifestation of light that is dark, that is destructive, mm. That is hidden. And here on this side, it is the black. And inside this black, this white dot represent the yang. And this is called the Tai Chi symbol. And it is also human wisdom. It is a human wisdom. And more or less, it's the same wisdom of Buddhist wisdom. Yang represent this, and yin represent that. And we need to learn to live together, to be in harmony with each other. And that is the most wise thing that we should learn to do. Yesterday, in our meditation, in the meditation, I said, Suppose that we receive today a very bad news. A very bad news. Anything could happen because life is impermanent. Perhaps our beloved one have an accident and we never see that beloved one anymore. Perhaps. Or some we love have a cancer. Or some of our beloved one have a deep depression. All kind of things can happen. Or our beloved one is infected with coronavirus. At first, our normal reaction is that, oh no, why it happened to me? Why does it happen to my beloved one? But life manifests in any way, in every way it can, when the conditions are sufficient. The Buddha said that when the conditions are sufficient, things manifest. When the conditions are sufficient, accident happen, sickness happens, OAs happen. And we have to learn to live together with all of these adversary, all of these misfortune of life. The Buddha advised us to practice the five remembrance, the five remembrance. Every day when we wake up, the five remembrance. I am of the nature to be old. I cannot avoid OAs. I am of the nature to be sick. I cannot avoid sickness. I am of the nature to die. I cannot avoid death. What I treasure the most today, one day I have to let go. And I have to abandon what I love the most, what is dearest to me. And the fifth remembrance is that it is only our karma, our karmic action, that we will carry this karmic action with us wherever we go. To the deepest place of life, or to the highest realm of life. In Buddhist cosmology, there are many realms. So in the darkest realm of life, the lowest realm of life, or the highest realm of life, the only thing that I can carry with me is my karma, my karmic action. And last night I talked about 3 karmic action before the sitting meditation. We have the verbal karmic action. We have mental karmic action, and we have bodily karmic action. Body, speech, and mind. Mm. Those are our karmic action. So the Buddha said that we cannot avoid all of this. It is a part of life, and we have to learn to live in harmony with that. Yesterday, I said that one way to practice is to learn to direct our mind to the object of positive. Mm. It doesn't mean that we forget these five remembrance. Mm. These are fact of life. OAs, sickness, death, lost, and then karmic action. These are the things that we remember every day. But it does not prevent us from direct our mind to something that is positive, fully positive. Mm. Mm. We can also embrace these difficulty of life, and then we can also embrace the wonderful of life, the wonder of life, and that is the wise way. Mm. It is a wise way of living our life. This perspective of interbeing help us to get out of many of our difficulty. Mm. We can always cultivate the positive energy within us. Mm. We can always cultivate the energy of joy or peace within us. Mm. And it is completely possible to be happy and joyful when we have OAs, when we have sickness, when we are facing death, we are facing loss. It's possible to do that. When I um, when I left Vietnam in 1978, 1979, I I left Vietnam as a refugee. Mm. Mm. I escaped out of Vietnam by boat by myself. Mm. When I was about 16, 17 years old. And when I came to America, the first Christmas that I lived in America, it was a memorable Christmas for me because it was my first time to be in the West, uh, to and to experience the Christmas season. Mm. And all of my cousin and my uncle's family, they are very happy. They're very happy. And I myself, I came to the West, but my whole family is in Vietnam. So I remember in those days, I wrote different poems I said, how can I be happy when my family is still in Vietnam and they are facing difficulty? Mm. Because at that time, um, Vietnam economical situation is very bad. In Vietnam, it's very bad. My father sent me letter, and the paper was so dark, so brownish, and his pen he write by ink, and the color of the ink and the color paper barely stand out, so you can barely read the word because the paper is so dark. Mm. And I felt that I don't have the right to enjoy happiness. I don't have the right to be joyful while my family is in the difficult situation. And it happened for some weeks. And then one day, suddenly it occurred to me. I thought, well, if I am my parent at home, if I am my parents at home, what do I really wish? What do my parents really wish for me? My parents really want me to be happy. They arranged the escape so that I can go to the West and I can enjoy a life of freedom, a life of happiness. They don't want me to go to the West and to continue to suffer. That is their deepest wish. Even though they are not, their life condition is not so good, but their deepest wish is that they want me to be happy. So when I suddenly it occurred to my mind, it was my responsibility to be happy. It is my duty to be happy. Because that is what my family really want me to do. I don't have to I don't have to punish myself. I don't have to make myself suffer. I can still enjoy joy and happiness while my family is facing difficulty. And that is the best way that I can live for my family. And that is what I discovered when I was 17 or 18 years old after I came to America. It's possible to enjoy the positive of life while we are still having the negative things. And actually, if we understand deeply about old age, we understand deeply about sickness, we understand deeply about death and loss, then what we are having right now is really a blessing. I am of the nature to be O. I cannot avoid OAs. I am of the nature to be O. And I can enjoy the fullness until OAs come. So now if you can still move your finger, just one finger, that is only happiness. Because you know, when you become older, one day you will lie on bed and you cannot even move your finger. So if you understand deeply about OAs, whatever is happening right now, you can learn to appreciate it. If you understand about sickness deeply, let's say perhaps one day we will be so sick that we cannot move our body in the morning, just like we are practicing the Qigong in the morning today. Until that time comes, we enjoy the movement. We enjoy the movement. And whatever in our body that is still in the good condition, we learn to appreciate that. And if we can have this attitude, then we see that life is very rich. Our life is full of blessing. Just like when we drink a cup of tea. Just like when we drink a cup of tea or we drink a cup of coffee, a cup of cappuccino. If we have this awareness, then we see that the totality of life is in here. We can enjoy this deeply or we can suffer deeply with it. It is our choice. We have the choice. As human, we have the choice. The direction of fully positive or the direction of pain and sorrow. We have that capacity. And the purpose of a spiritual life is to maximize this positivity as much as possible. To maximize the positive aspect as much as possible in our life. And we become one with this reality of positivity. And this reality, we call it the Buddha, the Dharmakaya. You can imagine that there is a stream from the mountain. The little creek, the little creek, the little stream, the little source of water, and then it collect into a river, and then slowly the river come out and go into the ocean. At the beginning, our faith, we believe that it's possible to touch the sun behind the cloudy sky. Even though that there's a lot of cloudy on the sky right now, the sky is full of cloud, But we have this little faith that behind that cloud is the sun. Just this little faith is enough. And that is the beginning of our spiritual life. We have the deep trust that it's possible to live fully, to live joyfully, to live happily, regardless of what happened. Just like regardless of how much cloudy it is on the sky, there's always the sun behind it. Mm. Mm. Regardless of what the situation of the world is going on right now, with all of the difficulty of the pandemic, all of the difficulty, economical difficulty, political difficulty, social difficulty, we as human, we have gone through a lot of difficulty before. And we have this deep faith that human family has the capacity to go up, to rise above all of these difficulty. For millions of years, that's why we are here. We have this deep faith that we can go out of it. And that is the beginning of the truth. This little faith. And then our practice is to turn ourselves from a little creek into a river. So we merge our energy. We merge our energy from the little creek into the energy of a river. And we merge the energy of the river into the energy of the ocean. This reality of full positivity in Mahayana Buddhism is called the Dharmakaya. The Dharmakaya. Dharmakaya, Dharma is the truth. And Kaya is like the body. And the truth in Buddhism is the truth of great compassion, great understanding, great action, great aspiration. And these are the body of truth. That the body of the truth include great compassion, great understanding, great action, great aspiration. And it is possible to merge ourselves into this ocean of truth, the ocean of truth. In our meditation this morning, I invite you to open yourself up into this immense space and allow this immense space to embrace the pain and the sorrow. Transform our pain and our sorrow. And we merge ourselves into this vastness of space. The vastness of the space. When we merge ourselves into this ocean of the truth, we lift our perspective up. Every moment, first, our perspective is a small perspective. a small perspective. We concern ourselves with the little things. We concern ourselves with tiny things. How to tie our shoe, how to put on our clothes, how we look in the front of our mirror, how our skin look today, and so on, how our little nail. And then slowly we learn to let go of all of these perspectives, and we keep climbing up. We continue to climb up into this ocean of truth, and letting go of all of these little things that worry us. For the meditation today, perhaps you can sit down in your meditation or walking meditation in your free time, and you ask yourself, what are the things that concern me right now? What are the things that limit my perspective? What make me what make my life become limited, bounded? What prevent me from seeing the vastness of life? And right now, the practice is the first is the practice of awareness or mindfulness or attentiveness about these little things. The moment you can identify it, you learn to lift up your perspective, and you ask yourself, what will happen if I just let go of these things that have limited my life? So imagine that there is like a mountain, like a mountain. You continue to go up, climb up to the mountain, and when you reach the top of the mountain, you see a huge space around it, the vastness of it. So when we are able to do that, we lift our perspective up, we lift our mind up into something that is very vast, something that is very great. And that is one way of the practice, and that is the Mahayana Buddhism way, the way of Mahayana Buddhism. We learn to train ourselves to touch the infinity. This is a wonderful way to practice. Learn to climb up the mountain. Learn to go up higher and higher. And from there, look down. And you see that your life completely different. When I first came to America, um, Again in 1979, I received a gift from my friends. She gave me a book, Lotus Sutra. The Lotus Sutra. The Lotus Sutra was the first sutra that I read, the first Buddhist sutra that I read, the Lotus Sutra. I read it when I was 18 years old. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand the Lotus Sutra because you begin to read and you see the Buddha give a Dharma talk and one Bodhisattva, then another Bodhisattva, another Bodhisattva. And then there are so many Bodhisattva and you still haven't entered into the to the first chapter because the name of the Bodhisattva is so long. You need a lot of patience to read so many Bodhisattva names before you know what is going on with the Lotus Sutra. And I was so young. I was 18 years old. I didn't have enough patience. I don't have enough patience to read. And what does it mean to read all of the name of these Bodhisattva? What does it mean at all? And it took like 10 or 20 pages, just the name alone, before you can reach the content. I didn't know that is the way of Mahayana Buddhism. When you allow yourself to touch the infinity, you become very patient. You have a lot of patience. You have a lot of endurance. When you allow yourself to touch the infinity, you have capacity, this deep capacity for endurance, for patience. The moment that you open your mind into infinity, you can embrace life in its totality. You have enough forbearance, endurance for all of the difficulty. You have great patience. And that is the training. So if today, if you go to the internet and you have a chance to look at the Lotus Sutra and you read it and you see how much patience that you have when you read all of the name of the Bodhisattva. And if you understand it deeply, then you see that in each moment of your life, there is infinity. In each moment of your life, infinity presents itself to us. Because if you are there, fully present, then you will see, oh, there's so many things in the front of me. For example, right now, infinity presented to me. There's light. There is the camera. There is the heater. There's the plant. There's blue sky. There's flower, sunshine, wooden floor. The sound from Sister Samgim in the back of the room. The brother watching me and doing the camera work. The screen with about 25 friends' face watching me. we can open ourselves to life in this very present moment. You see the infinity. And that is the meaning of the Lotus Sutra. When we can read the name of the Bodhisattva slowly and fully allow that name to penetrate into us, it is a training. It is a training for us to allowing life to penetrate us deeply. And if we can do that, we have a lot of patience for life. There could be many difficult things that is happening for us right now. But when you have the capacity to open to the infinity of life, there's no problem. It becomes a problem when we go from this higher perspective into this small perspective. We are trapped. We are imprisoned into this small perspective. But if we can maintain ourselves at this level of perspective, at the level of infinity, the level of ocean of the truth, then everything will be embraced. And that is the meditation. And this meditation is very powerful. It gives you a lot of resilience. It gives you a lot of strength to face all of the difficulty for your life. Learn to open yourself to the infinity. And not just to limit yourself into the small things. And how do you practice that? For example, you follow the guided meditation this morning. You learn to sink in. You learn to sink in, and then slowly, you learn to open yourself up to the totality of life. And allowing life, this vastness, this immensity of life to embrace yourself. You become tiny things, small things in this great empty space. And you maintain this awareness of this great empty space, this infinite space, this vastness. You maintain that within you. Slowly, you merge your mind. You merge your mind, you merge your consciousness from this little creek into the river and then into the ocean of truth. And you can do this not only in the sitting meditation. You can do that in every moment of your life. By learning to open your mind into the infinity and to touch everything that is happening in this very moment. And you learn to treasure everything deeply. Do everything with the most respectful act. Don't ignore even a small things. Do everything so carefully to its utmost, to its most carefulness, with all of your energy, attention to even the little things. And that's how you touch infinity. when you pay attention to the smallest things with your utmost attention, with your best attention, and then at the same time, your mind open up into infinity and do everything with your full respect, with with your most sincerity, admiration, and that's what you do. That's how you interact with everything in your life. And you do that not only with the normal thing, you do that with your suffering too. Let's say, for example, your anger or your sadness or your depression. You treat it the same way you treat the little tiny thing on your road, on the way, on your path. You look at it carefully with the most respect, with the utmost attention, with the great attention, with great attentiveness to your anger, to your sadness, to your depression. You embrace it. Just be there, fully be attentive. Your mind does not move. Your mind only being present, being there for it. And then suddenly, deep transformation comes. Your mind facing anger, but at the same time, you touch the infinity. You touch the ocean of the truth. There could be there could be anger, but at the same time, there is this deep calm and peace within you. The anger manifests, you embrace deeply. Suddenly, this feeling of calm and peacefulness comes, and you again, you immerse yourself into the ocean of faith, and the anger slowly calm down. Take its time and to transform. So learn to immerse yourself into everything that is happening into your life, either physical aspect or mental aspect. Learn to be there fully, full attention. And thanks to this full attention, the mind open up infinitely. That is the secret. And that's how the Mahayana Buddhists practice. And then after some time, you maintain yourself in this at this level of infinity, this level of infinite perspective. You become so stable, so calm and peaceful. When you are facing when you are facing the most difficulty in your life, you continue to be so stable. You are able to open your heart and accept everything that is happening to you. And technique of practice, this technique of practice have developed in the Buddhist tradition, and sometimes people practice visualization with this technique. So you can choose a most beautiful symbol that you like. So this morning I talk about space as a symbol. It's a symbol that have the capacity to embrace you. Space is a symbol. You can make something more concrete. For me, I enjoy the image of the space. I enjoy the symbol of the space because I can feel it, I can experience it. But for some of you, you might not be. For you, you might not have this deep connection with space. Then you can choose another symbol. For example, a mountain. A mountain, or a flower, or a simple word, for example, love, or understanding, or any kind of drawing that you feel inspired by that drawing, or color, any symbol that you like. And then the way to practice is you learn to go back to your in breath, your out breath. You feel your body, you relax your body. You relax your body, you learn to sink your energy down. And then you begin to bring this symbol into your mind. It could be a drawing, it could be a word, an image that you have deep connection with. And then you allow yourself to merge yourself into this symbol. The technique is to merge yourself. I talk about this process of merging from a creek to a river to an ocean of truth. Sister Som Nghiem said that her computer have a little difficulty. Can German friends, can you still hear the German friends? Yes, everything's okay. Everything's okay. Yeah, okay. The voice still okay, yeah. So you have this image that you feel deeply connected with, and then you allow yourself to be that symbol, to be that symbol, to be that image. So họ nói họ vẫn nghe được bình thường, không có gì hết. So you immerse yourself into this. So at the beginning, you feel it. For example, the flower, you feel the freshness of the flower. You pay attention, your utmost attention to this flower in your mind. Just like you pay attention to a flower outside. So you bring this image of the flower into your mind. Just like this image of the flower, just like you right now, you pay attention very attentively. And then you bring this into your mind. You feel this image of the flower attentively. And you learn to merge yourself into this flower. And you learn to feel that your whole body, your whole mind is the freshness of this flower. You feel it. You sense it. You allow yourself to experience this wonderful quality that you have chosen. So in my case, I choose space. So I feel the space in my whole body. I feel the space in my mind, and I feel the deep expansion that I don't have. I'm not limited by this body. I'm not limited by this mind, but I am the immense space. I am the great space. And I maintain this awareness within me, strengthening it. Slowly, slowly, it becomes a reality within me. And with this reality, I come back. I embrace the pain, the sorrow, the suffering that I have within me. And I allow this pain and this sorrow to be embraced by this huge space, this immense space. And there's a deep transformation. I slowly, slowly immerse myself in the ocean of the truth. So you can practice with a flower, with a mountain, or with the energy of love. You feel that your heart is full of love, deep love. You feel a deep love in your heart. And this love is immense, is great. Continue to expand infinitely to all of the direction, to all of the living being in the universe, to the lotus flower as well as to the mud. You extend this love infinitely. You merge yourself. You become that. You become that. Allow yourself to become that. And you feel love in your whole body. You feel love in your whole mind. And slowly, slowly, it becomes a reality. Then you come back with this energy of love and you embrace the pain, the sorrow within you. The pain and the sorrow. Will be transformed in this ocean of love. It is not something that is significant anymore. So from this little small perspective, you learn to go up to the great perspective, to the immense, to the infinity. And from this great perspective, you go down and you embrace this small perspective and transform it. And that is the technique. And if you can do this slowly, slowly, it become a part of your life. It become wisdom. It become a way of living. Whatever you touch, you feel space. Whatever you touch, you see the infinity of life. And with this, with this perspective of, of touching the infinity, you will see that everything in your life will become so so easy to deal with. It's not something bring you down, dragging you. You can go through life um, with easiness, with lightness, with upliftness. And that is one of my practice. I have done different type of practice, and this is one particular type of my practice. To touch, learn to touch the infinitive, learn to touch the infinitive. And if you are an artist, you can learn to touch this infinity through your art. Or if you are a musician, you can learn to touch the infinity to your music, to the music. Different way of expression. As human, I said, we are so fortunate. We are so blessed with so many with so many wisdom that we have inherited from our ancestor. Mm. Mm. You can use your subject, art, music, or sculpture, sculpture, sculptor, sculpt. I hope that I spelled correctly. Sculptor, like, you know, sculpture. Uh, mm, mm. And you can learn to go beyond, learn to go up, rise up from this small perspective into a great perspective. That is one of my practice, and um, I can face any kind of difficulty that is presented to me, because I learn to go up to the infinity. When I first came to Germany, I came to Germany on Tuesday, and Wednesday I came here to receive this building, to create our institute, to create the institute. And I remember that first day very clearly. At night, after we received the building, Thay, our teacher, he asked Sister Chân Không to call me. And the first question they asked me is that, what do you think, Phap Ấn? Is the building very big? And I said, yes, Thay, the building is huge, it's very big. And Thay said that, are you afraid? Are you worried? Do you have worry? Do you have anxiety? Do you have fear? Exactly, yeah. Loss. Do you have fear? And then I told Thầy, I have no fear. I remember I told Thay, I said, I have no fear. And then why was I able to to express it confidently to Thay like that? I have no fear. And then I look back and I say, I know why. Because it was one of my practice of touching infinity. Hmm. Because I see very clearly this is the work of the Buddha, the Patriarch. It's the work of the whole spiritual ancestor. It's not me who do the work. I'm able to go to this great perspective, to touch the infinitive. I'm not the one who do this this institute. I am only I am only a part of this stream of spiritual ancestor. Mm. That to do that, it's not me who carry the work. The whole spiritual ancestor, the whole sangha, Thay's energy, all of the brother and sister energy, all of our lay friends around the world come to carry this. It's not me. So why do I have fear? Because it's not me who doing this work. It's not something that I carry on my shoulder by myself. No, it belongs to the world. It belongs to life. It belongs to the infinite of life. And that is how I have gone through to difficult things in my life. The other day, we visit the renovation in our smaller building. I lead some friend to visit, and some friend said again the same question. Are you worried, Thay? I didn't have time to explain to my friends. I said, no, the tree jewel is doing the work. It's not me. It is the tree jewel who 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 do that work. It's not me. So that is how we practice to touch the infinity. To touch the infinity is to connect ourselves to the totality of life. And we can begin to do that when we drink a cup of tea with our utmost attention, with our utmost awareness, completely there, fully, we touch the infinity. We begin drinking a cup of tea in full awareness to enjoy the cappuccino in full awareness, feeling the fragrance of the coffee today. Enjoy it deeply, and you will touch the infinity. It becomes a part of life, a way of your life. Thank you. We end it here for today. I will invite Phap the Bell to end our Dharma Talk today.